going on, everybody? Welcome back to Straight Betting Hour 2. We got two people here today. We got, of course, JJ with me. JJ, how we doing?
Still waking up like per usual.
Yeah, West Coast timing. I get it. Eric, so this is Slime Action. Eric, how we doing?
Doing great, guys. I really appreciate you hitting me up to hop on the show. Love what you guys are doing and excited to talk some hoops. It's been a fun season so far, despite some of the natural NBA blowout nonsense. But betting hoops has always been hoops, so it's going to be fun.
Yeah, betting hoops, talking hoops. In my head, it don't get much better than that. But Eric, you're joining at kind of a weird time because, I'm going to quick stop screen sharing this and screen share something that I don't really want to screen share, but in sake of transparency, we actually just went 0-6. Like literally 0-6, man. So we went 0-6 yesterday, and then since we started tracking on the show like 2 weeks ago, that has officially put us in the red. So not great stuff. So that's why we brought Eric on. Honestly, we're like, damn, we need someone who can actually like maybe give us a chance at winning a bet today.
Nah, bro, the transparency is all that matters. Variance trades are going to happen. I lost 2.38 units yesterday in Discord. It was one of those days, bro. It's actually been a pretty tough month for me. Just like, I hate saying the hook because the hook's all part of the game. When you win by the hook, no one says a word. You lose by the hook, everyone's complaining. Has been a lot of one stat losses for me in the last 3 days, but it's all in the game we play.
Yep, it's all variance. And yeah, as soon as I like last year, honestly, when I was like 21, I was still in college and stuff. Last year, this shit happens. I mean, I went 0-2. I went 0-2 and didn't add any other picks. So I mean, it wasn't really a bad day. But like, say I were to have like a day like this, I would be like literally like sad and like laying in bed and like oh, I don't want to do this shit. But yeah, like once you understand that it's just variance and it's a long-term game, like you let all that anxiety and stress you get from this shit just kind of goes away. So
the only way to get it back is to keep making good bets.
Just
that's all it is.
Yep. Yep. And speaking of making bets, hopefully, well, I don't know about good bets. Well, I hope good bets, but shit, I'm locked and loaded today. I got my first like 8-hour night of sleep since I started streaming. Didn't have anything in the late game, so like naturally, like it was easier to go to bed. But I got 6 picks today. Eric, I don't know. Do you got a couple picks for us?
I would love to talk about these things holistically, and then we'll get into some of the things I have. I haven't had anything that I locked in for anybody yet, but I do a lot of things that include like de-vigging, line shopping, and whatnot. So I do run my own projections and do have, I use other tools to help blend my projections with others. So I'm very market oriented with my approach. Like I'll do a lot of, I always obviously shop for the best line. That's the first thing if you're not doing now. I'm sure you guys preach it, shop for the best line, but I will have some stuff for you guys today, 100%.
Yeah, guys. Eric's actually like I like to think of myself as like I try hard to win. I know the game of basketball. And I'd like to think of myself as like a 98th, 99th percentile better, but Eric's like actually like does this shit for real. Would you consider yourself a professional bettor?
I would not consider myself a professional bettor because I think that means that you're making your entire income based off of it. With that being said, we talked about this prior to the show. I love saying this. Like, there are people in the content space that like betting like sports, so they decided let's make content about betting sports. And then there are people who learned how to gamble and then understood the growth of sports betting and then took their talents to the mainstreams. And I consider myself more in that space. I learned how to gamble before I ever learned how to make a YouTube video.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've been gambling since like 2020 when I was like ripping Bovada when I was 18 and shit. So like I had no clue what I was doing back then, but just like I've met so many like good people. I've listened to. I know you're with the Hammer. If you want a quick shout out the Hammer, but I listened to like a ton of when I was driving FedEx over the summer, and sometimes like I'd listen to Rob's podcast. Not about It's like about I forget what it's called, but it's not about sport. It's about sports betting in general. And like, I really just like learned like a shit ton from that about that.
Yeah. The Circles Off pod, Rob Pizzola does. Shout out to Rob Pizzola. Everybody at the Hammer. It's great. I do their Monday NFL show where you have 3 actual professional bettors who make their living betting modeling. And I'm more of the host of that show. It doesn't happen during the playoffs. As we know, NFL unfortunately is wrapping up. But today actually on the Hammer, we're doing a live prop betting show from 12:30. I'm pretty sure maybe 12 Eastern to 5 Eastern, where every 10 minutes guests will be on giving out a Super Bowl prop. I'll be on around 1:30, 1:45 ET, but that's Hammer's amazing resource. if you guys are consuming content and the cappers you're listening to or whomever, obviously there's entertainment aspect to it, but there are people who actually know what they're doing. So you have to. I recommend listening to everybody, right? Even if it's somebody who might not be the sharpest person in the world, it still can give you a bit of good insight on something you maybe you're thinking about and a little bit of different perspective. But you have to understand how to like vet some of these people on your own. And some people, do know what they're doing. Other people don't. But even if they don't, they could maybe give you some perspective to help you. And maybe it's a lesson on what not to do. So that also is as good sometimes as a lesson on what to do.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. So yeah, Eric, I want you to be like completely honest with me. Like I said, I try to preach this to other people. Like I try to be egoless. I want to, if there's someone who like I know is like smart as shit, I want, constructive criticism and stuff. So if I give out a play and you have any like like I like and you think that there's like something with the process that you don't like I want to hear it, and I think it could be like an educational and informative for the listeners as well. So
absolutely.
Okay, sweet. Let's get going with the first one then. First one, I gave this one out earlier, but I'm just going to repeat it. Like I said, the lines might have moved a little bit. Devin Booker under 37.5 PRA. Like I said, I gave this out on the first show, gave it live. So basically, guys, okay, line's perfect. Line's still there. FanDuel actually has -113. Looks like DraftKings -110. FanDuel -113. Those are the two best prices you can get. Yeah, I mean, honestly, guys, I'm really not even going to overthink it. There's no KD, but like OKC is just different. Like they're a different breed. They have Lou Dort, they have Caruso. They're both active. They're the third fewest points per game to the pick and roll handler. It's just such an obvious spot for Devin Booker to get blitzed like at will. Like if honestly, I think that KD being out is obviously boosting his like PRA lines and stuff. But KD being out, like I said, it just makes it so much more obvious to blitz because you can blitz and like get away with like other people getting up shots and stuff like that, and that's what OKC likes to do. Like I said, third fewest points per game to the pick and roll handler, second fewest in transition, isolation, which I'm sure isolation reps will be up without KD. Fewest points per game there. Like I said, they overhelp a ton, and even like the assist angle, right? Like usually you'd be like, oh, he's getting blitzed, so like why would you put assists in there? I mean, OKC's like their defense is like the best in the league by a mile. So they allow the fourth fewest assists per game on the year, anyways, too. So I guess we could go to games without Durant and PRA. Like I said, I bet the hit rate's going to be pretty good. But like I said, honestly, I just think matchup trumps all. There's a 12-point spread on this one too. So this Suns team is not very good. They're on the road. They're in OKC. They're down like their best or second best player, and blowout could be another out here. So. JJ, first, I want to go first to you, JJ. Do you have a take on this one? And then we can get Eric's take.
I mean, you pretty much covered every point I was thinking right now. I mean, they're probably going to blitz him because, like, you most likely going to throw Beal in the starting lineup. Outside of him, who else is going to create their own shot? So you might as well take those two out and force the others to make their shots. I mean, just the one-on-one matchups in general will be tough. Who's going to be going in and out of the rotations? Because like you'll start with Dort, and then when in the second unit you got Caruso, so it's just going to be tough in general. And it looks like without Durant, he's gone under this line every time. So I mean, that's always a good start.
Oh, that's with
against the Magic.
Yeah, like his hit rate's not even good without KD, and that's probably like indicative to how other teams play him, right? They're like, oh, KD's out, like even like except for Minnesota, my Wolves are like, oh, Rudy, we got to keep you in drop.
Yeah, and he's already had a matchup without KD against OKC, so that's always a good sample to look at.
Oh shit! Yeah, only what 20 PRA in 34 minutes. OKC won the game. They're gonna probably do the exact same shit. Eric, do you have a take on this one?
Yeah, so I'm with you. I'm actually projecting 35.5 PRA for Booker, so definitely seeing some value at the -110 that you mentioned. And I think that just like holistically speaking, like I know a lot of bettors, right? Like there's two ways to go about it. Like you see the Kevin Durant news breaks, maybe it's breaking overnight, and maybe you still snipe an early line before the line over adjusts. But I think what you're doing right now is something that a lot of people will make the mistake of is like, oh, I'm betting the over, KD's out, and like kind of not really think of it. But the way that you're thinking about it, which I think is correct, is no, now the line is at a point where it's overinflated, over adjusting to the fact that Kevin Durant is out. So the value is actually probably on the under rather than a lot of people that I know are probably more eager to bet the over just because of the fact that KD is out. So In terms of matchup, I think you make a great point. The proof is in the pudding there. OKC's defense, and he failed to even come close to this number the first time against OKC. Obviously, back in November, things are different back then. But no, I think your thought process is 100% on the right track. That a lot of times when there's injury news, like, yeah, you're going to find some guys that you're going to be able to maybe find some value on some overs because somebody has to take those shots. Somebody has to take that usage up. But with that being said, on another star like Booker, often the case is probably that they're going to be over adjusted, that the value is actually going to be on the under, despite the fact that he's going to be, probably taking more shots, having the more usage, a higher usage rate. But the number is too high. If the number is too high, it doesn't matter who's not in the game. It's an over adjustment, and the under is actually where the value would look. So I actually really do like this look.
Yeah, appreciate that one. Yeah, and then just like a rule of thumb for OKC guys, I mean, if there's like a clear-cut number one, OKC is going to take them out, especially if they're not a big man who, like, OKC can kind of struggle with like size at times. But yeah, clear-cut number one guard, OKC is going to do whatever it takes to take them out. That's just what they do. So, yep, first play of the day. I'm glad that line held too. Next one, I'm going to move to Draymond to get 6 assists against the Jazz. The Jazz allow the highest catch and shoot frequency. That's where Draymond and they're the worst. So the Jazz allow the highest catch and shoot frequency, and they're the worst team at defending off-ball screens. So let me quick pull this up. We can just go to Steph Curry to start with, right? To see that. I mean, we can go to opponent shooting, catch and shoot last 15 games, highest frequency allowed, most makes. That's good shit. But if we go to Curry, we can see off-ball screen, Jazz are dead last. I mean, that's Golden State's offense, right? I mean, you see, we've watched this for like 8 years. Draymond has the ball top of the key. The ton of screens are going on, and the Jazz are the worst at defending off-ball screens. They allow the most points per game there. So, and then Draymond, let's see, where's the price at now? So, okay, this one did move a little bit, minus 115 there, but it's minus 115 to minus 125 basically everywhere. That's totally fine. Let's see, head-to-head. Let's see if there's any head-to-head data. He only had 20 minutes. They won by 41. Look, I'm not going to look too much into that.
Yeah.
With Curry this year, he's over in 15 out of 30 games. Like I said, the game's in Utah, which I actually do like. Utah's been not resting their guys. It's only a 7-point spread. I do think that we can expect the game to be close. Draymond did miss some time with a calf injury, but he played 29 minutes in his first game back. So, I mean, let's go like 32 to, 26 minutes. I probably have him at like 29, 30 minutes or so. Yeah, and then with Steph Curry, over in 12 out of 21 games. And I just think that this is like the best matchup possible with how bad Utah is at allowing catch and shoot stuff and off-ball screen stuff, which, off-ball screens a lot of the time lead to catch and shoot stuff. So it's kind of correlated there. But yeah, JJ, going to kick it to you first and then Eric.
Yeah, I mean, Jazz is a team kind of like all season. You can kind of attack in different areas. But, I mean, lately, catch and shoot has been like one of the more obvious ones. So, I mean, Draymond running the offense, I think it's a great spot for him to dish out off the off-ball screens because, I mean, that is his game. So I think as long as it stays competitive compared to the last time they played against each other, I think it should hit.
Yeah. Eric, thoughts on this one?
Yes. So this is a game where I actually like the under. So it opened at like 231. As you can see now, it's like 260. It's like 260. Let me see. Sorry, I lost it for a sec. It opened at 231. Now it's sitting 227 and a half, 26 and a half. So the market is clearly showing like from open that number was way too high. And somebody that I'm actually targeting, so on the Draymond front, I totally love the matchup perspective, but I do see a lower scoring environment. The Warriors, their defense actually been better. Jazz don't really guard anyone, but Jazz are actually, at this point, probably healthier than they've been in a long time as well. Mm-hmm. The prop that I'm looking at for this one is Isaiah Collier under 8.5 assists. And I know that this is a tough one because Collier has been not only just like absolutely obliterating this line and being, performing really, really well in the assists, and he's like assisting recently, but he's also been killing the potential assists as well. So that's also something I love to look at. When you look at like the last 5 games or last 10 games, like 12 potential assists as a median for his last 12 games. Like, yeah, like he is, hitting these over like 7.5 lines, over 6.5 lines because of these potential assists. He's clearly putting himself in a position to do really well. But I think that at FanDuel it's minus 154. I think it's gotten a little bit too high, that they're giving too much respect. It's 7.5 plus 120 at DraftKings, but 8.5 minus 154 at FanDuel. And I'm somebody who has no problem laying juice. Like, I hate that people do have problems laying juice because it all implied probability. I think he's more. I have Collier projected for 6.6 assists. So seeing that line at FanDuel, I definitely see some value at under 8.5. I know he's been killing this number. I know the potential assists are there, so it's not like he's hitting a ton of regression. But you're going to ask him to, with a median of 12 potential assists, convert 9 of those, so only leaving 3, potential assist margins for error against a good defensive team like the Warriors, and against in a game where I do like the under overall. I think I'm going to be fading this young guard who has been, putting up some impressive numbers as of late. But I think this is a tougher matchup, and I like the under actually for Collier.
Yeah, I mean,
I like
first
that reasoning.
Yeah, I like the reasoning too. To full transparency, we did have we made a lotto today. We just like make these little $10 lottos, honestly, just for like.
You got it. You might as well.
Yeah, we did put Collier double in it, but it was like plus 500, and it was just more of like okay, guys, his line's at 8.5. Why is his double plus 500? So we did put it in just for like that reasoning to play the upside, but like also at the same time, I was like seeing when I first looked at this line, and I always like when I do this when I first look at a line and I'm just like, why does Isaiah Collier have an 8.5 like assist line? Like that thought like 100% crossed my mind. The one thing I will say is that Colin Sexton is out. I don't know how that affects. I think it maybe gives them a little safer of a minute floor, but I completely agree that the Warriors are actually like a really good defensive team, especially when they have Draymond in. You talk about the line getting moved down, like that makes sense too. And yeah, okay, I'll be completely honest. Even though I hope Collier gets 10 points and 10 assists tonight, like 8.5 is just like Isaiah Collier is not an 8.5 assist guy. That's what I got to say about it.
I faded him against Indiana. Obviously, lost that as well. That was another 7.5 line that I got, but it did. It was like 7.5 minus 145, if I'm not mistaken. But then ended up closing 6.5, like the over to minus 135, and he blew past it. He, had the double. But in that game, his double was plus 750, and now in a more difficult matchup, it's plus 500. So yes, Collier is getting the respect from the double market that he is this good passer. And again, like we're talking 12 potential assists. It's not like he, only converted. And against Indiana, he got 17. Against Milwaukee earlier this month, he gets 21 potential assists. So he clearly has the skill, but like those are like Trae Young numbers that really aren't that sustainable. And again, the matchup against Indiana is much different than the matchup against the Warriors that obviously Indiana runs the floor. That total was also like 240, if I'm not mistaken, as well. So expecting like, almost 20 fewer points combined in the matchup. So I'm seeing even where did you get the double? Because right now I'm looking at Outlier. They have 380 on FanDuel. So maybe you did get a good price there. But I know that against Indiana, that was like plus 700 or maybe even plus 750. So the market definitely kind of changing its tune on Collier.
Yeah. It was at 365 this morning.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I don't know. JJ, do you have a thought on it?
Yeah, I think because my next question, like, you already asked it, was like, how do you think like Colin Sexton being out affects that?
Like I said, I just
take a look at.
Sorry, I'll just quick say I don't think it affects his role at all. I think that it just makes his minute floor a little bit higher.
It's also interesting
I think
too
just have
the
ball in his hands more too, right?
For sure. And Collier came into the league as a scorer. So the fact that he's been having more trouble like scoring the basketball versus like finding these assist numbers is a little just interesting to note because he came into the league as a scorer, but it was found his own. He's a good player, and again, these potential assist numbers are skyrocketing. No, Sexton is also big, but it's a big number, 8.5.
Yeah, because they're using him as like a Trey Jones and Chris Paul type of player right now. So I thought that was interesting.
And I just filtered in games without Sexton, he's gone over in both of them, but we're talking about games against Charlotte and the Pelicans. So those are completely like opposite kind of matchups versus what you're going against with Golden State, and especially where the total is listed as well.
Yeah, and that was like tanking games from the Jazz where like they didn't have anyone else either. I will say, if you guys have ever sweated out a Collier assist prop, his assists are like so cheeky. Like it's just like him making a pass to like Laurie coming off a screen, and like he's really not playmaking. He's just getting assists. If that makes sense. Like, did Kevin Durant just get traded?
That was going on. I'm checking Twitter.
I just got a text. Someone just texted and said Durant.
Let's see Underdog quick. Nothing there. Let's check Shams. I don't see anything from Shams just yet.
Okay, maybe someone's like trying to jump the gun, I guess. Let's see. Okay, Yeah. So yeah, no. But like I said, dude, if you guys ever sweat out a call, your assist problem, like my gosh, like the assists that he gets are just like I could be getting them. So, hey. Hold up. All right, my dog's putting on a woof fest. This dude's pissed. Okay. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, sweet. So I like that. I do like that Collier look. Just like, yeah, just Collier is not an 8.5 assist guy, if we're being honest. Okay, I'm going to let's do another under assist prop. I got Cade Cunningham under 10.5 assists. I gave this one out on stream last stream. So bro, this dog. Okay, let's see. So it's still okay. It was minus 135 at Bet365 in DraftKings. It did move a little bit. I guess the minus 145 at Bet365, that's being picky. I would probably recommend you guys pivot to under 15.5 rebounds and assists. Save a little bit of juice, unless you guys have this Bet365 line that you can get down on. But basically, guys, I mean, 10.5. I think it's too high for Cade. The number one thing, guys, is that if we go to points, we go to like his pick and roll partner. Pick and roll assists are probably like the easiest assists to get. And the Cavs allow the second fewest points per game to the pick and roll man. So it's like it's going to be tough for him to, feed Duren, feed Stewart in the pick and roll and stuff like that. On top of that, we go to his assists against the Cavs. Cavs won both these games, so they should be, doing similar scheme on defense. Like I said, he only had 6 assists on 9 potentials. That was super early in the year. But then he only had 14 potentials and 7 assists. And guys, I also got his assist line at 9.5 over. I played it against the Bulls, and he's crushed in 2 like cupcake matchups. And now it's just boosting up his line a little too much. So yeah, even without Ivy, we can go to assists 10.5. I mean, he's under an 8 out of 20. He's only averaging 9.6. We go to just like broadly looking at this team's opponent stats, opponent assists. Cavs are allowing the tied 8th fewest assists over the last 10 games. On the year, I think where are they? 9th fewest on the year. I mean, like I said, guys, he's had great assist games, but he's played like very, very easy assist matchups in Atlanta and Chicago. So yeah, even this rebound and assist line, like I said, I think it's a tad high. I think the assists are in a really tough spot. They're playing the Cavs, so Cavs are always, a team that's like a threat to blow someone out. Even though Cavs are on a back-to-back, so I'd probably lean towards more so the game staying close. But yeah, Cade under 10.5 assists. Like I said, if this Bet365 line, I don't mind laying this. Like I said, I laid minus 135. It's a 10-cent difference, but I think there's still value there. And then, yeah, I'd pivot to rebounds and assists under. So I want you guys' thoughts on this one, Cade under 10.5 assists.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Cavs defense, they kind of always want you to force the extra pass. So I think assists will be tough there. I think this is typically a spot where he tries to shoot more. I mean, his size matchup against he's probably going to match up against Strus probably. Because I mean, I don't think anyone else is going to be able to like physically and like with speed be able to match up with him properly. So that's probably going to be a good matchup for him to score here. How's he done?
Let's see.
9 of 26 last time.
I want to add this too. Cade loves pull-up twos out of the pick and roll and stuff like that. The Cavs allow the highest pull-up two-point frequency over the last 15 games. So it should be like a good scoring spot rather than assist spot too.
Yeah,
I agree with both you guys on that because of like the match. One of the Cavs' biggest weaknesses as a team is they don't have a wing that's like really elite. Don't have like obviously Mitchell's more of a guard. They have the 2 big guys down low. Garland, of course, is as pure of a guard basically as it gets from a shooting guard perspective. And yet Cade's a point guard, but Cade's size, strength, his ability. He's one of those more like point forward kind of guys in terms of like build, even though he's listed as a point guard. And the Cavs don't have anybody who can guard a player like that, and that's honestly might be the Cavs' downfall. I would expect them to be active at the deadline to try to acquire a better, wing, like more prototypical, like elite style wing, because that is something that this team is absolutely lacking. And I think that, like you said, like Cade in his last 2 games against Cleveland, 26 attempts from the floor, 24 attempts from the floor, was definitely taking away from his assist numbers, because I think that this is a bigger, like you guys mentioned, it's a better matchup for Cade to try to score. And like you said, the pull-up twos as well. I think that is actually a good way to think about it, because the Cavs don't have anybody who can really match up with Cade in a one-on-one setting for defending him. And yeah, they held him to 22 points last time, which is fine. But again, he took 26 shots. Yep. So volume is always also going to be something to look for betting any single prop.
The volume is king.
Yes, sir. Definitely there against Cleveland.
Yep. Process over results. I always like to think, I always like to judge my bets based off of volume. It's like, I almost like don't even feel great when I win a bet that like I just got good variance on. Like, oh, I had this dude to hit 2 threes and he shot 2 for 3 from deep. Like, that's not a good bet. Mm-hmm. Like you should be wanting 4 or 5 attempts, or honestly probably 5 attempts for like a 1.5 line. Because stuff like that, and just volume is king. So yeah, love. And I, like I said, whenever I use head-to-head data, I can't stress this enough. But the Cavs won both these games, so it's like, just keep doing what you're doing. It's clearly working. Like, keep the same scheme going. That's letting Cade shoot and limiting the assists. So like I said, head-to-head data, when like there's like not an adjustment coming, I think it's like super super relevant.
And also like you mentioned, the back-to-back for Cleveland here. This line's only 5.5. Cleveland, put up a fight with Boston after being down big time in the first half last night. I think that again is going to be catering more to Cade scoring rather than Cade passing as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Moving on to the next. These are new props. Like I said, I think I played these maybe an hour ago. The stream is getting really sharp. I will say, I've been loving the comments you guys have been giving in the stream, which we will get to after this. But you guys are, honestly, it's making me so happy seeing like the plays you guys are recommending, because you guys are really, really like getting good at this shit, and it's making me happy. So someone did recommend this, and I thought it over, and I was between him and someone else's over, and I would just like, screw it, I'm playing them both. I like both lines. So let's go to the Charlotte game. Milwaukee, guys. Milwaukee is an absolute paint funnel. They allow or not a paint funnel, a jump shot funnel. They allow the second fewest points in the paint. And that's just especially going to be true against this Hornets team, right? Because okay, and this one moved too. So it looks like Bet365 is the only one with good price now. This one was pretty available when I gave it out, which kind of stinks. So is there still 34.5 PRAs? Okay, yep. So I'd probably pivot. Actually, not screw it. I'd still play the 18.5. I think there's still value there. I mean, Milwaukee allows the second fewest points in the paint. If we go to Mark Williams, I mean, guys, he scores 99% of his non-free throw points in the paint. So that's obviously good right away. And just knowing the Bucks schematically, the Hornets don't have jump shooters. Giannis likes to, kind of cheat off his guy in the corner and, help rim protect. Brook Lopez, as long as they don't have elite pull-up shooting, is just going to sit in a deep drop. And these Charlotte Hornets do not have elite pull-up shooting whatsoever without LaMelo and Brandon Miller. So, yeah, just schematically, guys, I mean, they're just going to clog the paint like they used to. Charlotte has no pull-up shooting threats. And if we look at the games where Mark Williams has went over, first of all, I guess some of these were like really shit minutes. So, but like if we do like 20, 28 plus minutes, yeah, he's over in 7-12. Cool. He went over against the Bulls. The Bulls allow the most points in the paint, most points per game to the pick and roll man, cupcake matchup. He went over against the Suns. Suns also have terrible big men. This was even before the Nick Richards trade, I believe. So, yeah, I mean, it was like Plumlee and Oso. Yeah, Suns just terrible defense. Jazz, we know, terrible defense. Bulls, we just went over them. They stink. Yeah, he had a great game against Memphis. I'm not really going to try and shit on Memphis, even though they do play. I will say they play at the fastest pace in the league. So, I mean, they just allow a ton of points overall. Then went over against the Nuggets.
Bucks.
What's up?
Kuzma to the Bucks.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
Wow.
So who's not going to be playing tonight as part of that deal?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow. Time to find an edge. But yeah, no. Then he went over against the Nuggets. Nuggets were on the second night of a back-to-back. They also, if we go to like opponents' points in the paint allowed, I mean, what are they? They're 27th, so a lot of the fourth most. Like they're not a bet. No, Jokic does not do anything around the rim on defense. So Yeah, great matchup there. And then the Wizards, like opponents' points in the paint, third most. I mean, Wizards probably the worst defense in the league too. So like he's really just went over in a bunch of like easy ass matchups, and this is like a terrible matchup. So I mean, I'm actually like I kind of like the under 34.5 PRA too. I think that's a fine look, but also 18.5. You know, I'm still cool with that. But yeah, guys, obviously bet 365 in DraftKings. Not the sharpest books, not the most like fluid books, but or liquid books. But yeah, if you can get down there, minus 125, minus 120, bet 365 for sure. Play that. You guys' thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I think without Brandon Miller and Lamar Ball, I mean, he's had cupcake matchups to go over. And like, because I've been looking at like opponent points in the paint. If you look at the bottom 10 versus the top 20, like, you know, it's not like the biggest sample size, but you kind of get an idea like what teams have been doing. So it's like against like the top 20, he's only taking 12 attempts each in like close games. So like 28 and 31 minutes in a 4-point and 5-point game against the top 20. And then if you look at like the bottom 10, you know, you got Denver and Washington, right? So he's taking 17 attempts, 12, but he had 9 free throw attempts against Washington. I mean, Washington is just not a real basketball team right now. So 9 free throw attempts makes sense there. But I mean, yeah, Bucks are always going to be tough in the paint. I mean, you got Brook there. I'm sure Bobby Portis, we don't know if he's coming back yet with his personal reasons, if I remember correctly. But I mean, I don't think it really matters whether he's back or not because Brook Lopez usually has been playing a lot of heavy minutes. See, like 32, 20, 40 game before, but then is that 35, 41. So, I mean, he's going to be on the floor a bunch to where I don't think it'll really matter. But I mean, that's really all I got.
Yeah.
I love this play. I think I want to play it. I love what you guys at. My numbers also back it up as well. I just looked at my projections for points. I'm projecting like 15 for Mark Williams, so that's a pretty big edge on the under. Something I would definitely look to play. As I'm sure we know, if we don't know, for any viewers out there, you know, volume is key. You got to be hammering some of the edges that you have. You know, there's nothing wrong with having 10 plus units on a slate if it's diversified across a bunch of different straight bets that have positive expected value because they're going to reduce your variance because you have a higher volume of plays going. So I actually love this one. And I'll give out another one that I like. And I think I like more now that Middleton is on the move. I don't know how the lines are coming off the board. My odds screen's being slow right now because of, we've got a stream going and some other tabs open. But speaking of something that you mentioned earlier, Ty, that I think is an important point, like, when you're talking about volume, there are some players that, like you said, if they're going 3 for 4 from 3, you bet them over 2.5 threes and it's minus 130 and they hit, like, it probably wasn't really a great bet. You got some positive variance, got a little bit lucky there. The Hornets, like you mentioned, bad 3-point shooting team, but the Bucks are a great matchup for that. A guy that I think that fits the mold of somebody you wouldn't like because of the lack of overall volume, but I'm making this bet because of the price, is Josh Green, over 1.5 3-points made. Now, he's a guy that without LaMelo and Brandon Miller, he's gone over in half of his games, and he's only shooting 3.5 threes per game, but his price is plus 135. So we're not talking about laying a price to get somebody to do something that they're not doing that frequently. He's going to be at 1.5 made, but we're getting paid out on the percentage of him shooting at hitting threes at a lower rate because plus 135. That's the best price that I see. That makes it a good bet because we're not laying a number for it. You're getting plus money for that extra variance that's included from a guy who's not really taking that many attempts and still asking to make 2 of his 3 attempts, which is obviously not sustainable over the course of the season. We're getting plus money for that. Playing 36 minutes a game without these guys, great matchup for the Bucks. No Middleton, who has been kind of spotty anyway with some injuries earlier in the season, but that's another big wing defender out there that's not going to be on Green. We're not going to be, Josh Green's not going to all of a sudden be shooting 7 threes. It's not how he plays his game. He's had a couple of games with 6-5 over his last couple of games without LaMelo and Brandon Miller, of course. Last game went for 3 against Washington, but I made that bet at plus 140, and it was a good bet and a good matchup. And I'm expecting low volume, and I am expecting him to kind of do something that doesn't do that frequently. But it's in one, a good matchup, and two, at plus money. So I actually like Josh Green plus over 1.5 threes plus 135 over at DK.
Yeah, no, this is a great. I like how you mentioned the price because so I feel like so many people in this space just. Sorry guys, I do not know how to mute my iMessages coming through my phone. I'm slow with this shit. Okay, but yeah, what I was saying. I mean, look, so yeah, he's literally averaging 35.6 minutes per game without LaMelo, without Brandon Miller. Cody Martin's still out, I believe, who is like another wing that could like potentially take away minutes and stuff. Yeah, so like you're probably gonna get like a good like median projection. It's just like what, like 34, 35 or something here.
Mm-hmm.
And if we go to opponent shooting, Bucks third highest frequency allowed, and we could even go here and catch and shoot. Click on the Hornets. I can guarantee you, Josh Green like it's like highest frequency on the team. Yeah, highest catch and shoot frequency on the team. So I mean, yeah, this makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, I think they probably throw. I would say maybe throw Giannis on there so he can have help defense off Miles Bridges drives. I mean, Josh Green is typically a player you would rather leave open compared to a lot of these other guys, possibly. Mm-hmm. And then they already give up a ton of catch and shoot, so it kind of would make sense for him to get a little extra volume here shooting.
Yeah, and if he's gonna play like 34, 35 minutes, I mean that should be good for like 4 or 5 attempts or something like that. And if you're getting 4 or 5 attempts for plus 135, that's a good bet regardless of the actual result.
Yeah, and even if he only is getting 3 attempts, right, which is around his average, his median, I am betting on a outcome that isn't that likely, but it's given the price, it makes it a much better bet. And then we have seen times where he is shooting 5 to 6 threes a game. Even against Washington again last game, I had him plus 140, only went 1 for 3 from 3. Not the volume we want to see, but there are certain situations, again, given the price, that it makes sense to kind of bet on more like ceiling outcomes versus median more average outcomes.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, well, I got another player in this game. I guess we're just gonna stick on Bucks and Hornets for an hour, but I mean, same reasoning here, man. Micic over 10.5 points. Best price is 365. I feel like that's a common reoccurrence now. This was minus 105 at DK when I played it, when I sent it out to my Discord. But yeah, I mean, 10.5. The price is at pretty much every book besides FanDuel. So yeah, without LaMelo and Miller, as you can see, he's over in 6 out of 9 games. Whatever, cool. I don't really care too much about that. Even like without just LaMelo, over in 10 out of 16 games. He had this one weird game where he only played 15 minutes. I think he actually got hurt in this one. Then he came back against the Wizards, had a good game, had 14 shots, just shot very poorly. But yeah, ever since like LaMelo's gone out, I mean, it was this game where the first game he missed, he's had 15. He had 10 shots, 2 free throws. That's pretty good volume. 12 shots, 4 free throws. That's great volume. And then this Nuggets game where we definitely bet on him, but shit happens, whatever. Same thing, man. Brooks going to be in such a deep drop. Like I said, Bucks just are going to leak a ton of pull-ups, catch and shoot. I know the pull-up numbers have been a little bit down, but you got to think about the personnel the Hornets have, right? Like they're complete. Like you're so cool just like playing drop against Micic and like living with it, right? Micic actually has like the highest pull-up frequency on the Hornets. It's like higher than LaMelo, which I was definitely not expecting. But yeah, so I mean, I just think that Brooks going to be in a deep drop. There's no reason to like be aggressive against Micic in the pick and roll. So if he gets drop coverage, yeah, I think you got to play this at 10.5. I think that the line maybe should be 11.5, 12.5 or so. So yeah, I think that Micic is in a good spot here. Just give him drop, let him get good volume up, and yeah, I think it's gonna be good. JJ, you got any take on this?
Yeah, I mean, when he gets his drop coverage, he's definitely gonna chuck some threes. And I'm honestly surprised 1.5 threes is at plus 100 on FanDuel, to be honest. I mean, I would think like 115, maybe like minus 115, minus 120 would probably be like where it should be. I mean, maybe over the course of the day, that's probably where it leads to. But I mean, yeah, anytime he gets a chance at drop coverage, he is chucking that 3.
Yeah,
I'm with JJ here, where I prefer the 3s over the total points. In my projections, I actually have Micic projected for 1.9 threes, but at minus 104, that makes it a good bet considering the price attached to it. I'm only projecting 11 points for him, so that's a not as big of an edge on the over points. And obviously, given his shot profile, the things you just outlined, and some of the matchup coverages that Milwaukee does, I'm with JJ that I agree that the 3-point made line at -104 at FanDuel should probably be closer to around -120, and I see value at Mičić over 1.5 threes -104.
Yeah, no, I love that too. And it's actually plus. I'm seeing plus 100 at FanDuel. I don't know if that's if it moved
I'm
down.
using a slow screen right now, so maybe if you're using a faster screen, it might be more updated. I'm using a slow one because, like I said, we're streaming on my computer running overtime, so some of the more heavier programs I use are being a little slow right now.
Yeah. So yeah, 1.5 threes too. You can make an argument that it's a better bet. I kind of agree with you guys 100%. And still good hit rates and stuff. He's still getting them up. So yeah. Mičić stuff. I think it's good. Just drop. I'm very confident that he's going to get a pretty deep drop coverage from Brook, and that's just going to lead to good volume from Mičić. This one, I think this one's pretty sharp. I'm not going to lie. I think this one's pretty sharp. I played DeMar DeRozan under 3.5 assists, so I have some pretty cool filters. But the first thing I want to say is that LaVine is playing, and honestly, I think that LaVine is just going to get pretty much the same usage that like Fox gets. I could be wrong here. Like I said, I'm kind of projecting, but that's kind of what I'm thinking, right? So LaVine is a really good player. People just kind of like look down on him because he's on a bad contract, I guess. But he's averaging like 25 points a game on like 45% from deep. He's a great player, and I really do just kind of think he slides right into whatever usage Fox is getting. So I'm going to use this filter since LaVine is basically going to replace Fox's usage. I'm just going to do games with Fox. Like I said, I really don't think it's going to make a difference. So if you just do games with the 4 scorers or the starting lineup in, DeMar DeRozan's actually under this line in 20 out of 21 games. Obviously, guys, we go to Orlando. They're allowing the fewest assists per game on the year. We go to DeMar's scoring zones, right? Great matchup for him to score. Orlando plays single coverage. They really don't double. They allow them. They're a great defense, so they allow probably the fewest points on the year. I could be wrong there, but they do allow the 5th most points per game in the mid range. Obviously, guys, isolation or post up. Where's isolation? Post up and isolation. 3rd most points per game there. Basically, guys, I really just don't. I think that like Orlando, how they defend, I think that they're just going to, let them go 1-on-1 in the post, limit assists, and I think that if we just look at the hit rate, like I said, I think that LaVine is pretty much going to do what Fox did. So I think that his usage is going to be pretty much similar to what it was like in these. He goes under way more than he doesn't, and I think Orlando's the worst possible assist matchup. So maybe I outdid myself here. But this line's at a good price basically everywhere besides DraftKings. So let's see, the best number is Bovada. Great book. I like Bovada. But ESPN, MGM 365, and then Builder, FanDuel -122. So yeah. JJ, your thoughts on DeMar under 3.5 assists?
I like the angle with Zach LaVine coming in. He is a player that's going to soak up usage. How they're going to use him, I'm not exactly sure. I'm kind of a wait and see with the Kings. That's when I watch a full game of film at least to see how they want to attack things. But matchup wise, Magic are always tough against assists, so can't go wrong there. They will play you 1-on-1. I think DeMar DeRozan is in a great spot because it's going to be 1-on-1 coverage. He's just going to try and attack in isolation in the mid range. He's a mid range king. You gotta let him do what he does.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be that guy and go on the other side here. I actually see a lot of value on over 3.5 assists, especially at that +105 on DraftKings. I know you mentioned astutely that DraftKings is one of the least liquid books, and they are one of the least or the less sharp, more recreational books. So there are a lot of times where you can find value, especially when you devig from books like Pinnacle, even FanDuel with props are much more sharp. Bookmaker, some of the exchanges like Profit, Novig, Sport Trade. I know hit rate wise, it's something that he hasn't done a great deal of, and we're talking about even last couple of games, potential assists just 6, and new player on the team, it's a new dynamic. I know it's obviously a very tough matchup, but using just devigging from these books is really what's getting me there. Plus my projections now. Obviously, when it comes to just betting in general, I defer to the market, right? Like I build projections, I use other people's projections, and I blend them together to try to get the best projection I possibly can. But at the same time, I respect the betting market. There's a reason why certain books take X amount of liquidity on different games at different times with different props, because you have to respect the market. The market exists for a reason. There's a reason why Las Vegas, all the casinos and these books are billion-dollar companies, right?
Yeah.
So that being said, when a sharp book like Pinnacle is laying a minus 113 for an over, while DK is hanging a plus 105, not projecting 4, given that plus money aspect there, I actually do see some value on DeRozan over. I actually see the value on the over 3.5 assists for DeRozan here.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I mean, yeah, if you're going off the market, like I said, that does make sense. You're seeing Pinnacle's number and stuff. Yeah, like I said, I don't know. I just think that the Magic, DeMar DeRozan is such like I could be wrong if Levine comes in and like has like they treat him like Keegan Murray or something. But yeah, I just think that this is such a good matchup for him to score, and I actually think that like maybe the best way to probably play this is to do like a Eric. Do you ever do like if there's a matchup you like them to score and not pass? Do you ever do like like an SGP of like maybe like DeRozan? I don't know, DeRozan 18 plus points and then under 4.5 assists, or do you ever do stuff like that?
I honestly haven't, but I think it probably is a good way to attack certain markets. That even though like if you can get the correlation, but like the price not directly correlated into it, that you can find some value doing stuff like that. So maybe I'll dig into it a little bit more. I haven't been doing that at all, though, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I definitely, I don't know. I want to start getting into that, and I think it's good, but it's also tough when you like, I don't know, when you have a Discord and you're trying to get out props, because those can be like less available for people to bet and stuff. Okay, guys, you guys want to, for the last 15 minutes, you guys want to get into some questions?
Of course.
Yep.
Okay. Let's shout out with the best. This is the best comment we're going to get all day. If everyone on YouTube like and subscribe, Andrew, I couldn't agree with you more. That's a lock. We got to do that. Guys, if you are watching, we brought on Eric. Eric's a very smart guy. Me and JJ, we try our best out here. But seriously, if you think that this is good content, it's providing you value, the biggest thing you can do to support us, it's free way, just liking the video and dropping a sub, it really does. It's really, really helpful for what we are trying to accomplish here. So I would greatly appreciate it if you guys were to do that. Tommaso said, hey guys, how we doing, Tommaso? Hope everything's going good. Yeah, Rudy Gobert stuff. We talked about this last stream. I endorse it. I can't believe FanDuel is laying like a minus 125 earlier. I don't know what the price is now. Eric, do you have prices on Gobert double doubles?
Yeah, I'll see right now. I could pull that up on an outlier. Let's see, Gobert. It's not always, and also a lot of the times, and I'm sure you guys mentioned this, like sometimes building it out on certain books is a better way, like actually doing like 10 plus points, 10 plus rebounds. Yes, you lose like other statistics to be able to get you there, but those are the least likely. But I'm seeing minus 130 FanDuel, minus 140 DraftKings, and for underdog players, the price would equate to minus 155 for a Gobert double-double.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, that minus 130 at FanDuel, 100%. I mean, this is a cupcake matchup. Bulls allow the most points per game in the restricted area. I think just most points in the paint overall. Yep. Most points per game to the pick and roll man. Cuts are to the basket. Obviously, cuts are in the restricted area for the most part. And this is an amazing, amazing matchup for Rudy to score the rock. And then also rebounds, I believe, if you just look at raw rebounds allowed, yeah, second most. Rudy should absolutely get a double-double tonight. And if he doesn't, as a Wolves fan, I'm going to start a campaign to trade him. Do you guys have time?
I mean, against the Bulls, I mean, you got to attack the paint. And then without Julius Randle, I mean, his volume has been great scoring-wise. So, I mean, I think that's always the biggest thing with Rudy. And then also with Randle being out, I mean, it gives him a lot more opportunities for rebounds.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, one of these games was against the Wizards, so you can't really count that for much. But the Kings double-double is pretty impressive because I know the Kings are actually weirdly good at limiting stuff in the restricted area, and Sabonis is definitely a threat on the glass. So I think that this 19 and 13 performance is actually really impressive for Rudy. And if he can, do that against the Kings, I would hope that he can do 10 and 10 against the Bulls.
Yeah, I'm looking now. I think that, obviously you can do the double-double, which like I personally don't play a ton of double-doubles because like, yes, it is like a basic NBA stat, but it technically is a parlay. You know what I mean? Like you are expecting taking 2 stats to go over. That 11.5 rebound line looks beautiful. I mean, these games without without Randall, we're talking 18 rebound chances a game, right? We're talking a matchup against Chicago that's not a good rebounding team. This is back to last year, so it's not as relevant. Look at some head-to-head stats, but I'm projecting 13 rebounds for Gobert. So at 11.5 minus 110, again, especially considering some of these rebound chances, if we're talking 18 rebound chances over the course of the season, even, which is, tough. It's 18 rebound chances a game, and we're talking a guy in a great matchup. So I think Rudy Gobert over rebounds just flat out is a good bet to me.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and then like I said, I mean, if he can't score 10, the thing is like where I'm at is like this is like probably the best matchup in the league, maybe outside of Washington for Rudy on paper. So it's like I don't know, like if he doesn't score 10 points, I still think you made a good bet going in, no matter what. In hindsight, just like I mean, come on, Rudy, like this is actually a cupcake matchup, and the minutes are definitely like he doesn't have a risk of getting benched with no Randall.
And also putting in like no DiVincenzo, also obviously not the same big type player, but DiVincenzo does eat up minutes. We're talking just 2-game sample, so not something to die on, but 19.5 rebound chances and 38.7 minutes. That's a lot of opportunity to snag some boards for Rudy.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, like I said, there's zero chance that he gets benched. Like I said, I'm a Wolves fan. Like sometimes they'll defer and go Reed and Randall, but they always like to have those 2 bigs on the floor. They're not going to go Naz and Jaden. That's not enough rebounding, not enough size either. So yeah, I think that Rudy stuff is just great today. Miles Bridges rebounds and assists. Let's see, fading too many others. Okay. Miles Bridges rebounds and assists. So weirdly enough, the Bucks are not a good rebounding team. I mean, this is just last 10 game data. I like to use it for rebounds and assists personally, just to see how teams are trending. Yeah, the Bucks are like tied for allowing the 3rd most rebounds. I mean, that's good. Like at the assist thing, I think that on drives, like he should be passing out of a lot of drives just because you're going to be met at the rim by either like a Giannis or a Brook, and they do a lot of catch and shoot stuff. I would assume that I know there's data out here for this. I wish I remembered where it's at, but I wouldn't think that like Miles Bridges gets a lot of his assists like off of drives and kicking out to catch and shoot stuff. And obviously we know that the Bucks allow a fair bit of catch and shoot stuff. What am I looking at? Rebounds and assists for Miles. So if we go to without LaMelo, without Brandon, I guess we could go to like that's assists, rebounds and assists. Yeah, I mean the number looks pretty good, right? This is without LaMelo and Brandon. Bucks, they've been giving up a shit ton of rebounds, and they give up a lot of catch and shoot stuff. So I think it makes sense. And there's actually some good prices out there. -110 at DraftKings. You guys got to take on Miles?
I'm looking at his assists last game, so I'm not saying anything at the moment. I just want to see how he's been doing it.
18 potentials against the Wizards. That's some crazy stuff.
Yeah, triple-double there.
Yeah. And did not have Miles Bridges triple-double on my bingo card.
That was a matchup. I actually, his assist was like 3.5 in that game, juiced the over, but then some heavy market money came in on over assist, and it was like 4.5. So I ended up laying off a little bit. I know that was probably the lock of the day.
Yeah, it's always those ones you end up laying off. Like I don't know. Actually, to be honest, people on last stream, I think it was actually at 11.5, if I'm not mistaken. But people were like, Miles 11.5 rebounds and assists. What do you guys think? And we're like, like I don't know. Yeah, he's been hitting it. Like, yeah, he's been hitting it. Now he plays the Wizards, so I definitely like it. But like, I don't know if I really like it. And he had 20, so people were spot on with that.
Certainly.
Okay. Let's see. Tommaso has a ton of questions. Let's see. There's a lot of questions. Holy shit. Okay, we should probably try to run through these. Gordon stuff. Look, I'm going to be completely honest with you, Tommaso. I don't like that he randomly got ruled out due to injury management. It really makes me feel like there's a severe cap on his minutes, like the 30 range. And I was on his over before he got ruled out. So, I thought that, everyone being out was going to be good. But, it does scare me, even though I was on it last game in the same exact matchup. does kind of scare me a little bit with his minutes and how healthy he actually is. But like if I was on it last matchup, I can't really, talk you off it. He played 32, 33, 30 minutes since being reinserted in the starting lineup. So if we do like a, a broad little mid-range, just do like, let's do 27 to 34 or something. Pretty good stuff right there. But you guys got to take.
I mean, with Gordon, I'm just kind of a wait and see with him at the moment. I mean, he didn't play last game. That ruled out. And it's like it's one of those weird, like they play back to back again. It's like I'm always kind of weird. Like, does the team adjust or not after they literally just faced them?
Yeah, the one that Gordon didn't play in that game though, so I think that's a little different.
Yeah,
I'm with JJ in general though, where like for me, at least with my numbers, whenever there's like massive injury concerns, not like massive concerns, I shouldn't say, but a guy that's been like spotty with injuries and like teams with without playing, and obviously the prospect of like re-injury, I feel like just like my numbers that I generate just don't account for those things that well. So in those situations, I personally stay off and move on to the next bet on the board.
Yeah, 100%. Like I said, I just think it's weird that he was good enough to play a back-to-back, and then he randomly needs an injury rest day. So I'd probably, I think staying away is the best way to play it. But I definitely do lean over. Mobley stuff. Evan Mobley, man. I was on his points last night. He played so bad that he got benched, and he shot 3 for 14. So
volume was there.
What'd you say?
Volume was there.
Yeah. So Evan, good old Evan. I actually don't like Mobley stuff. I'll just keep it short and sweet. Golden State's tracking is off. They actually don't like their tracking is off, and it's been like exposed is off. So their restricted area numbers are not accurate. But Detroit allows the second fewest points per game in the restricted area. I'm not going to take an over on Evan Mobley if that's the case, personally.
Yeah, I mean, Pistons have been defending the paint well. So, I mean, he's going to like ISO or cut. I mean, that's kind of his thing, like with the post-up ISO. So, yeah, I'd probably stay away here.
Yeah, I'm right on
Mark. Better off with like a pick and roll, probably like a Jared Allen. I don't remember how Jared Allen does in this matchup. I mean, yeah, Jared Allen's been going over. So, yeah, I think it's more of a pick and roll type of matchup.
I agree. I'm out on Mobley, and I actually do see more value on Jared Allen over for my numbers. I'm projecting 14.5, so at over 12.5. Jared Allen's a good guy. There's times where he's so frustrating where I steal big edges and he's just like not shooting. There are times I don't play him, and when I still see an edge and he's flying over. But guns ahead between these two, I would pick Allen to do better than Mobley today if I had to choose one of them. And if it were just only Mobley centric, I would honestly pass on Mobley.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. Jared Allen, frustrating to bet on sometimes for sure, dude. Like he just sometimes gets the ball in the roll and is like, nah, I'm not shooting this shit. Like it's like I have no bag to make a little floater. I'm like, Jared, dude, what are you doing, man? Let's see, Giannis stuff. Giannis rebounds and assists. Are we talking over or under? I'm guessing. Let's see, or do you just want to take on it? Let's see. Okay, we can. So Chris Middleton, he got traded. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Kuzma, Patrick Baldwin for Chris Middleton. Oh, AJ Johnson. That's actually a good pull. Now you guys, I know AJ Johnson was like the 25th pick, but he's super young. Kind of made no chance. And they got a pick swap. Wow. I think that's a good trade for the Wiz. Okay. Yeah, so Giannis rebounds and assists. I think that no Chris is actually pretty good. Chris definitely is a good assist guy. And he kind of is like a pull-up shooter, which isn't great for assists. The rebounds, yeah, the Hornets stink at rebounding. He'll just play drop. He'll be near the rim. You don't gotta, worry too much about their shooters making shots. Hopefully, Josh Green makes him pay for that, eh?
Definitely.
Let's see. Last 10 games, Hornets. Like I said, Giannis. Okay, so yeah, not a great rebounding team. I guess we could just go to games with Damon without Chris. That'd be a good way to look at it. With Dame, without Chris. Yeah. I guess I'd lean over, but I don't see anything too crazy here, if I'm going to be honest with you. You guys got to take, or Eric, what's your number at?
I see the value on the over, but like not playable value. I'm making 20, but at 18.5, I'm looking at rebounds plus assists.
Yep.
Yeah, I see it at 18.5 minus 113. I project 20. So in terms of price and projection, it's not enough where like I'm looking at that as like, yeah, I'm playing this like no hesitation.
Mm-hmm.
I
JJ
think
takes.
this is a prop that relies heavily on getting rebounds.
Mm-hmm.
I think it also depends on whether Bobby Portis plays or not. And it looks like he's back, so I mean it's something I would probably stay away from. It's like he's probable.
Yeah, LeBron Doncic. I hate to be like, oh, probably stay away from both. But yeah, LaVine. Like I said, if I had to, gun to my head, I think that he's gonna get similar usage to Fox. So based off of that, lean over. But I think that playing that at minus odds probably isn't the best way to attack it. Like you'd want to maybe sprinkle, because if his lines, he can easily get 25, right? LaVine's a bucket. I would probably just like if you think like how I'm thinking he's going to be similar to a Fox role. Also, it's against the Magic, which is tough. They're just like not going to allow a lot of points, even though they will let people go 1-on-1, which is good. But there's so many people that go 1-on-1 in this team, so I'd probably stay away from LaVine stuff. And it's also 20.5 now at every book besides Camby. Eric, what's your thoughts on the Camby books?
It is what it is, man. Like, obviously, we know that there are sports books out there that only want to cater to recreational players and want nothing to do with, real action. There are obviously books out there that are operating like sports books should operate. So, not that I have too big of a take. Like, at the end of the day, I guess people are free to do what they want. I know there are a lot of professional bettors who are putting together like organizations to try to like really fight on bettors' behalf, which I think is awesome. So I really hope that over the next, X amount of time, we start to see some more, I don't want to say like protection, but some more like support for the bettor to be able to, bet and not have to deal about limits, nonsense, going to court over, discrepancies, etc. So I hope that we are on the cusp now of, a better overall like landscape for sports bettors as well.
Yeah. Yep. 100%. Okay. DeMar 20 plus points. Yeah, Michael. I mean, I'm on his under assist for the exact reason. I think that the spot's great for his volume, right? Like they're not going to double him in the post. They're going to like literally let him just go 1-on-1 and shoot as many twos as he wants. So yeah, I endorse it personally. I think that since we went over the assist, we don't got to spend too much time on this one, but yeah, Michael, definitely endorse it. Walker Kessler stuff. Okay. Points and rebounds, Utah, Golden State. So yeah, the Golden State doesn't actually allow the fewest points in the restricted area. It's annoying how Chase Center doesn't know how to track shit. Like it genuinely is annoying. But so it's kind of tough because we actually don't know where they rank in the restricted area, which is like insanely important for Kessler because that's where I'm not on Kessler, I'm on Collins. That's where he scores 86% of his points. I guess we could maybe go to head-to-head stuff.
I mean, my thing is as long as he's getting 30 plus minutes, which is what has been doing, I mean, I think the volume should be there for him.
Yeah, we could go to like hit rate stuff. Eric, what does your number have, Matt?
We're looking at Walker Kessler. Give me one quick second. Walker Kessler, Utah Jazz. We're looking at PR. Kessler, I'm projecting 23, so it's 22.5 minus 106. It's not something I would bet considering the price. So when I see things like that, for me with my numbers, right? Like obviously, if I really love the matchup, then I'll kind of like dive in and try to like second guess and see maybe what I'm missing or what I'm not missing. But just in terms of a win probability based on projection, it's something that obviously so many props on the board, so many different categories. Like I see things like that where it's right on the market for me. Then like I want to say like I pretend it doesn't exist, but I do. I just move on to the next. There's millions of, not millions, but there are a lot of different props to get in on and get action on. So hate to not be able to really give you a little bit more of a concrete answer, but I wrote with my numbers and I don't see any value, anything worth playing.
Yeah, I will say I actually do think his rebounds are nice. He's in a nice rebounding spot though. I mean, this is just like by position. Centers against Warriors. Goga had a 7.5 line. He had 14. Plumlee had a 5.5 line. He had 6. Nick Richards had a 9.5 line. He had 16. Hardenstein 11.5. He had 18. So it looks like some similar players have been absolutely crushing on the glass, which I think could be good for Walker Kessler.
Yeah, I just prefer him when he has that 10.5 line. But I mean, matchup wise, I mean, he's gonna have a huge size advantage here. So I mean, he could just go absolutely crazy.
Yeah, they've been starting like post dude, and he's not an NBA center when it comes to defense. I will say that.
Mm-hmm.
Pool threes, JP without Kuz. No, actually, to be honest, Pool strong under because Pool, very reliant on the pick and roll handler. The Nets actually like blitz the shit out of the pick and roll like every time for some reason. And yeah, if he's not going to get threes out of the pick and roll, then I don't like it at all. I think it's actually like a strong lean under personally. You guys got to take on JP.
I haven't been watching too much of the Nets lately, so we'll see what the projections look like.
Off the board right now, obviously with the news. So I'm seeing a Pinnacle, FanDuel, but DraftKings off the board, some other exchanges off the board. My projections again when there's like a big trade news like that, like those are things that you can find pieces of big time value, but in this specific situation, I don't even have a viable projection for Poole to base any opinion off of.
Yeah, I will say if we go down to here, this kind of backs up the blitzing and the pick and roll stuff, but when it comes to 3-point frequency, Nets are tied for the fourth lowest 3-point frequency allowed over the last 15 games. So, yeah, just knowing how Brooklyn is against the pick and roll, like he's going to need to get him off of catch and shoots. Now, Kuzma, even without Kuzma, who's going to like drive and break down the defense for Washington to, so Poole can get those catch and shoot looks? Like, I don't really think there is anyone. So, I strongly lean under personally.
I think it just depends on volume for him.
Okay, Shea. Oh, sorry.
All right, I was going to say with Brogdon, without Kuzma, 15 3-point attempts, 12, 13, 10, 8. And I think just like as the season went on, it was just kind of crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess volume has been there in those games, that's for sure. Collier points over 9.5. Shit. Collier, like I said, Eric came out and gave us a Collier under. We're on Collier's double-double, but it was more of a price play just because I think that his minutes are super safe without Sexton, but I do tend to agree that like 8.5 is high for his assists. But for points, like I said, I think his points are pretty safe. Golden State does kind of overhelp and like leak spot ups, and I know like I've just like seen Collier play, and he's really not like a on-ball player like that. Like he starts off with the ball in his hands, but he just kind of gives it to like Laurie and he shoots it right away, or John Collins and he shoots it right away. Yeah, I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't really have a strong take. I do say I like his upside in this game, just because I think he has a safe minute 4. So I'll leave it at that. And like I said, 32 last game without Sexton. I think that he's gonna be around that 28 plus. So yeah, I'm cool if you want to play double because I mean we played it in the lotto, but just a straight line, I don't really like it, to be honest.
I think it's a fair set line in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with both of you guys. I think it's a fair set. I think if you're back in Collier, you kind of just take the ceiling outcome like you guys did with double-double.
Yeah. Shea said he's fading too many unders. Eric, what do you think about playing too many unders or playing unders in general? Is that
me? It's never too many unders. It always depends on what the line is.
I love that, JJ. It's that simple. Line and price. There are so many ways for things to cash unders too, and like obviously the same way a positive variance goes for overs, works the same way for unders as well. And I know that people like I think what it is, it's more psychological. Like it's harder to sweat and stomach somebody going under, that it's less enjoyable than like rooting for a player to go over. So that's why people are more reluctant to bet unders, but cash is cash either way. So yeah. I obviously love betting unders. I bet my fair share of unders. And I think that just correlates with the mental aspect of gambling, right? Like, yes, if you want to just do this for fun and that's all you care about is fun, bet all overs in the world, have a great time. But if you want to be serious about trying to make some side hustle money or just build a little bit of a bankroll so you're never redepositing, yeah, you got to bet some unders.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, guys, value is value. Money's money. Yeah, like I said, I think Eric actually made a good point. Like, if you are a casual bettor, you're like playing $5 prize picks legs. I mean, you're probably not in here then, to be completely honest. But yeah, then if you just want to play overs, have fun with it, I say go ahead. But yeah, if you're seriously trying to make money, you're not gonna be very successful if you like refuse to bet under.
Yeah.
Franz under 25.5 points. Yeah, so Franz isn't spotting up really. One thing I like about the Kings is that they really do overhelp a ton on stars. They really limit stuff in the restricted area. Let's see, paint overall, 7th fewest in the paint. Like I said, they allow the most points per game to spot up, and that just means that like you overhelp a ton, right? So with that being the case, 25.5 does kind of seem a bit hefty. Maybe I'm wrong here. It could do like with Paulo Banchero. Oh no, it's with Paulo. And then let's see, what's his minutes now? 37. So he's kind of getting up there. Let's see. So he's averaging 23 points, basically 23 points in games with Paulo, and a little bit less than 30 minutes. Like I said, you could probably pencil Paulo in for like 35 minutes now that he's off his restriction. So I think the line's pretty well set, but like I said, I'm not a big fan of the matchup, and I'd probably slightly lean towards the under, but it's nothing crazy.
Yeah, I'm kind of where you're at. It's like a fair set line from what I'm seeing.
I cashed his under against the Warriors. What was that, 2 days ago? And I see value again on Franz under. So the 25.5 minus -1 on DraftKings, especially considering a lot of the market is sitting at 24.5. Like FanDuel's 24.5, but over is juiced. I like that bet. I have that on my radar, and I'm going to dig a little bit more. Obviously, we know the Sacramento new team, new trade, new transition, so we'll see how that works out. But just from the numbers that I do have, I see an under here as well. So I definitely like that look.
Yeah. No, definitely lean under too for me. And that Warriors under was sharp too, because Warriors are another team that like traps a ton on primary guys and stuff. So glad that you got that win too. Kilo, yes sir, we are back at it. Jeremy Sohan, 10.5 points and assists. Look, to be honest, Dante, I'm gonna just keep it real with you. I have no clue what to expect from the starting lineup out of the Spurs. I have no clue what to expect. De'Aaron Fox coming in and probably starting over Chris Paul. I mean, that's just gonna put usage all over the place. So I'm gonna be completely honest with you, Dante. I have no clue.
Yeah, because that's probably gonna mean if Chris Paul's with the second unit, then Sohan's assist going to be taken away from Chris Paul. So I think it kind of hurts that aspect there. But, I mean, another team I want to wait and see how they want to work things out with their rotations.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on the same wavelength. Nothing that, especially with the Spurs, like prior to this, it was very spotty with that rotation that they run with the guys like Sochan, Castle. They go deep in that bench, and it's a tough one to predict. And then now we're throwing absolute like wrenches in with an entirely new lineup. So I am probably not betting on anything Spurs related, though it is a matchup against Atlanta that should be fast paced and fun. So I see where your head's at in that sense, but a lot of uncertainty.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see, Kuzma traded for Chris. Yeah. I actually really like that haul for Washington. I think that Chris Middleton. I wonder if he's gonna get. Can he get bought? He can't get bought out, right? You have to have an expiring contract to get bought out, correct?
Yeah, pretty sure, yes.
Yeah,
that's going to end the 1-year deal on the last year of your deal, yes.
Yeah, so I don't think he's that, and that's why Milwaukee wanted to get off his contract so much. Damn, that's crazy, man. Chris Middleton was like, he's kind of a Milwaukee legend,
For sure.
Like he did a lot for that city. It was like a second option on a championship team. So, damn, that's kind of sad. Chloe Ware over 10.5 rebounds and assists versus Philly with no Embiid. Yeah, I mean Philly with no Embiid is a great matchup for centers to get in there, get dirty on the glass.
They're gonna go straight to 2-3 zone defense. So I mean, trying to put a body on him is gonna be tough. Should be a lot of opportunities.
Yep. Let's see. I think Chloe, like, what's his minutes been? I think his minutes have been 31. Yeah, 34. I guess this is a broad range, but yeah, I endorse it. Do you have projections on Ware stuff?
So for Ware, it's a guy who has, obviously like barely played to start the season now. Is like coming on really strong. Like those are guys that I also don't really trust my numbers on that much. Just like how I build them, I know they're not like suited to project these things well. So like my projections have them at 4.4, but like based on how he's been playing, there's like absolutely no way that's that makes sense. So I label those straight up as uncertain, and again, just move on.
Yeah, hey, 4.4 max nuke on the under.
Yeah, no, that's not in the cards.
KJ Martin to Pistons. What are the Pistons trying? Oh, actually, this is a Philly thing. Philly's definitely gearing up for a trade. This is a salary dump. So interesting. I wonder what Philly's got up their sleeve. Did they get anything back? See, have you guys seen any underdog notifications with what Philly got back?
I'm checking right now.
Let's see.
My gosh, we got Cade.
KJ to the Pistons per Pompey on Sixers.
See, has Pompey on Sixers said anything else about KJ?
Just looking at picks, just picks. 2 second-round picks.
Yep. So salary dump. They're gearing up for something. Wonder what. Maury's always active during the deadline, so this is not surprising at all. Let's see. Okay, I wanted that Kuz rebound so bad. Oh shit! Took away your prop. Levine, yeah, LeBron Doncic. Like I said about Levine, man. I don't know. It's his first game. I don't want to give you advice that leads you to make a bet if like I'm not even sure about it. So
there's too much hype around Levine right now for his first game.
Yeah,
I mean, it's cool like to watch, but I mean, he's got to kind of just enjoy the one game and see where it goes from there.
7.5 is the line. What's his assist at? I mean, it's a brutal matchup for RAs against the Magic, who just play slowest pace in the world. Yeah, I have no take. Do you have? Yeah, I'm guessing your projections can't really do much with a player traded.
Yeah, I got nothing. For this. It's just something again that I cross out and just pretend it doesn't even exist.
Yeah. Eric, your numbers did really like Jared Allen, though, correct?
Yes, my numbers like Jared Allen a lot. I'll look at rebounds. I know they like his points, though they really do almost always love his points. No, they PR. Yeah, my numbers are a big fan of PR. Projecting 27.4, so minus 102. That's definitely something I would look at for sure.
Yeah, I tend to agree. Like I said, the only thing is the restricted area stuff, but I mean, it's also like a good pick and roll man matchup. And for some reason, Mobley doesn't score that way. So it's like bad for Mobley, but I guess you could see some Allen stuff if he gets like a little floater going on, like in the short roll. And yeah, just good head-to-head data stuff. 31 minutes, 28, 31 minutes, 26, 22 and a half is actually out there everywhere except for FanDuel. So yeah, JJ, I know you said you like Allen stuff too. Just your reasoning the same, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
See, we got 2 Jared Allen stuff back to back. Yes, sir. Rudy Gobert is a do not bet. Hey, I don't like that, man. Like Rudy Gobert, he is a bet though. Like he's an under if it's a bad matchup, and he's an over if it's a good matchup. So, and this is a good matchup, so Rudy's gonna show you guys wrong. Rudy's on his villain arc because SF Niners hating on him. Gobert will disappear for a quarter. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, every low to no usage player is going to disappoint or disappear for a quarter. But then they'll have like 3 straight plays where the defense gets broken down. They get a wide open dunk, and you're like, oh damn, that's like 3/4 of his line.
Yeah.
Sabonis is lazy. Come on, Niner. Why you hating on these non-American centers? Okay, Claxton rebounds. Like I said, I think this is a stay away. Someone brought this up. I mean, Valanciunas is such a candidate to be traded today. So Valanciunas, I think he can actually be a tough matchup just because of how physical he is on the glass. But the Wizards overall are like a cupcake matchup on the glass. But specifically for Claxton, I think that Valanciunas plays. I think that his physicality could make it tough, and this number is definitely indicating like super easy matchup. You got the Nets on a back-to-back. Claxton's also on the trade deadline. So even like when you give Claxton like 24 to like 31 minutes or something, like goes under a ton. But yeah, I think there's just too much moving around here.
I mean, you got to think quite a few Nets players are on the trading block for the next day and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You
no,
gotta wait
I mean, I know
until
he's been
lineups are locked.
murdering the head-to-head. It's only one game this year, so actually, that wasn't even this year. They haven't played each other this year, so I'm not. He hasn't played any game against him this year, so I'm not going to take that data. So never mind. I know it's a great matchup, but I know that obviously with like Washington and Brooklyn, you do see a lot of like long rebounds and Claxton, more of a center. But again, like with what can still happen from now between 7:30, you know, you might have if you take that bet now, you might be a void by the time this game kicks off, tips off because of potential trade prospects as well. So nothing
You
I'm
might be a
really
Laker.
focusing on the net.
Yep.
Exactly.
Might be Luka's new lob threat. Hey, if Claxton is a Laker, best believe I'm betting his over first game alongside Luka, because Luka just makes every center competent if you can dunk the ball off of an alley-oop. which is why it's funny that Dwight Powell was a center for so fucking long. It's like the least like rim threat or center in the league. Good job, Mavs front office. You guys are just on a tear. Walker Kessler stuff, we talked about it. I think his RA is good. I think his rebounds are good. So yeah. And also, guys, I got a quick question for you guys. I think I gotta personally leave because I gotta make some content for straight betting and have it posted by a certain time. But are you guys cool with doing 10 more minutes of this?
Sure.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, cool. Smoking this wood to smoke the books. Yes, sir. That's what you got to do. Got to do some double smokage. Jordan Clarkson under 2.5 threes. Jay Clarkson against Golden State. I know Golden State will be aggressive in the pick and roll. So I don't think the pull-up threes will really be there necessarily, but they will switch too. So I mean, I guess Golden State pull-up threes. I guess they're pretty middle of the pack in frequency, maybe a little bit below average. Just look at the number. Hey bud, what's up? Are you gonna bark? You gonna bark? Okay. What's the minutes been? 35, 21, 25. I know he was hurt, so maybe he's getting back to normal minutes. And no Sexton too, which is important. I'd probably actually have him for like 26 plus here. Yeah, you guys have a take? I think it's a fair line.
I think it's a fair line. I haven't found like a good angle to say either way just yet, just because Sexton is out. So I haven't like looked into it. It's one of those plays I kind of got a deep dive, but I mean, I'm guessing what do the projections say?
Let me see for Clarkson. So I actually see value on Clarkson. I have it at 1.7 3-pointers made. So even at minus 125 at DK, minus 122 at BOL, minus 120 ESPN. If you have the privilege of being able to bet at a ESPN shop, that's the best price there. But I see an edge with Clarkson predicting just 1.7. That's actually a pretty solid edge and something that is like based on like how I go about my planning. Like I obviously look at my projections, look at the numbers, see if there's any DVIGs that I can use as well to like really solidify like if I check in all three of those boxes, projections, market, and DVIG, then like that's something that I bet without even hesitating. And Clarkson, as it stands, fits that mold. So I think that's a great look. Under 2.5.
Yeah, and I'll say from a scheme thing, it's like I don't really think he's going to get any out of the pick and roll, which is definitely like a big part of his game. Like I will say he definitely can catch and shoot, which will the opportunities could maybe be there, and he can isolate. So there's that. But yeah, out of the pick and roll, which is definitely like his dominant play type, I don't think he's getting threes out of that. So I think just
kind of where I'm leaning to as well.
Chris Middleton under 0.5 retirement before the first game. Yeah, dude. Yeah, this dude's got to be feeling so shitty, dude. Like just heading to play for the Wizards. Like, I mean, what is he even gonna play a game there? And he can't get bought out. Like, man, that's crazy. Chris Middleton probably feels betrayed, but what can you do? Yeah, Wemby stuff. Shea, like I said, Wemby, it goes in the Fox bucket. I mean, Fox is a massive variable, and he's a massively different player than Chris Paul, who will probably be sharing. I would assume that Chris goes to the bench, and Fox has to share a ton of minutes with Wemby. So I just think that there's a lot of stuff. I will say I think that De'Aaron Fox like will come in and be pretty pass heavy. You know, just like you're joining a new team. It's like it's not your team, right? It's Wemby's team. So I will say that just from like a human aspect, I do think we see Fox like deferring a fair bit to Wemby. So I mean, take what you want from that, but a lot of moving parts there, and Hawks do stink at defense. So there's that too. Yeah, do you guys take on Wemby?
I'm gonna wait and see.
Yeah, wait and see.
Yeah, I'm looking. I'm projecting 2.6. So I actually see slight value on the under because it's plus 122 at 2.5. But it's again nothing that it's something that I see. Then based on my numbers, that barring like some crazy market projection, obviously a lot of uncertainty around San Antonio. So that's something I'm laying off.
Yeah. Trey Murphy over 23.5 points. Look, I think you went off against Denver last game. I could be wrong.
Sure did.
Yeah, 41 points against Denver. Well, guess what? They're playing Denver again. Denver's probably like, holy crap, Trey Murphy, you went off against us. We're going to try to not let you go off. So I would stay away. That's my quick little reasoning on it. But yeah, look, the thing is that Denver did win the game. They only won by 12. I don't know. I don't like this spot. I think it's stay away.
I tend to try to stay away from teams that just played each other and then they play again the next game.
Mm-hmm. 2 straight 40 balls from Trigger Trey, though. Impressive shit.
And somehow he's not on any boards that I've seen for most improved player.
I think he missed too many games at the start of the year. I could be wrong, though.
I'm looking. I actually see value on the under, but there are situations, right, like in just any types of betting, like you got to take into consideration recent form, just because, obviously it's a time where like you can either try to catch a falling knife and take them when they're, again, if the guy's shooting like 3 for 15, saying 3 straight games, and the point prop is at 11.5, like the over's probably a good bet again because of the volume. In this situation, he's absolutely been cooking, but it's not like he's taking a crazy amount of attempts, just 16 attempts median over the course of the season. Of the last 10 that shoots up to just 17 median. So it's not like he's like absolutely like dominating the ball, doing well from the free throw stripe, median 7 attempts a game. Had that 41 ball against Denver just last game, but I actually only project 20 still, though he is a tough projection for me with, like you mentioned, that injuries start the season, and obviously Brandon Ingram being out, Murray obviously being out, Herbert Jones not playing. That just like makes it a tougher projection overall. So I'm personally staying away. But somebody I cashed on in this game last time, who I think I would go right back to the well for, is, I mean, I don't see the prop actually listed, but I've cashed on Julian Strawther last game. That was like a 9.5 point line. He ended up scoring 15. Yeah, I'm not seeing a line listed though, so I don't know if I'm missing an injury news or something like that. But he cashed for me very easily last time. I had 15 plus and actually a parlay too, which ended up not losing, but the straight bet 9.5 was free. So if they put up a line for him, or if we find out why there's no line, that could be worth a look as well.
I think it's just because Gordon is still questionable.
Gotcha.
I think that's what they're waiting on the confirmation for.
Yep. And I'm pissed at myself. I can't believe I didn't bet Strawther last game. I mean, dude, his minutes were so obvious that they were going to be elite without Gordon, Peyton Watson, and Russ. Like 9.5. Strawther's a good scorer, man. I'm pissed at myself for not betting that. Dyson Daniels rebounds and assists. I will say, Liam, my buddy, who I do hour one with, Ozbets, he said that there's a recent quote from Dyson that as soon as Jalen Johnson got ruled out for the year, there's like a weird quote where Dyson said that without Jalen, he's going to turn into more of a rebounder, and he's actually like kind of backed that up. I guess that the line's at 6.5, but without Jalen Johnson, and I guess post the quote if we want to do that. Post quote. Look at his hit rate. Let's see, 7. Then let's take away those 2 games. So this is like when he claimed he was going to become more of a rebounder. And he's been doing good, I mean, the assist chances are good. So yeah, 10, 12, 14, 16, 10. So 10 plus potentials in every single game. The rebounds, like I said, he's been averaging 6.6 over post quote. So yeah, from a matchup perspective, the Spurs, yeah, Dyson should not guard Wemby, right? Dyson will probably be on Fox. But if you're not guarding Wemby, I mean, it's a good rebounding matchup because the Spurs are a really bad rebounding team, and as long as you're not guarding Wemby and contesting a million shots a game, you're in a great rebounding spot. So, and I also think the Spurs are just allowing a ton of assists too. Yeah, third most. So great matchup. 10.5. He's been averaging 12 and he said 12 plus in 4 of the last 5 since Jalen Johnson went out for the year. I think it's a good bet. You guys got to take.
I mean, if he's going to try and rebound more, and that's what they're trying to do, I mean, it's a great adjustment to jump on early. I mean, I don't have any arguments against it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I project over, but the fact that it's minus 130 that I'm seeing at DraftKings is best price, like you have to take into account the juice, the juice for the play. That considering that I'm projecting 12.5, but at minus 130, it kind of makes it less valuable. Not kind of, it does make it less valuable because of the implied probability of the bet at minus 130. So I'm not seeing that as like something that I'm going to be betting myself strictly because of the juice. Not saying because of the juice as in I don't bet juice, just because of the projection plus the juice equals no bet for me. But I do project over, and I understand the rationale, and it is a good matchup. And let's seeing Trey's a game time decision as well. So that's something I guess probably worth noting.
Yep. Yeah, I guess you could maybe play it right now and get crazy CLV if Trey's out, but yeah, that's dicey. And Middleton to the Wizards, he's gonna turn the franchise around. Yes, sir. Stop sleeping on Chris Middleton. Okay, this is gonna be the last one that we're gonna get to. Fox 6 assists. Oh, and yeah, and to be honest, Shay, like I said, just don't know. Like I said, I think that I wouldn't even mind running an alt assist line. Wemby's just a great assist partner, and if you really, like I said, my gut's telling me, like I said, gut betting maybe not the smartest thing to do, but my gut really is telling me that Fox is gonna come out and try to get Wemby involved and be more of a facilitator. So I don't see where 6 assists is on any books, to be honest. You're probably talking about Prize Picks. Yeah, like I said, there's a lot of risk. I probably would do alt or nothing, and I'm sure you guys are going to have the exact same thing to say.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great matchup, but honestly, like from just like a betting standpoint, ideally like Fox would have like a couple crappy games. So like 2 games from now, you absolutely hammer the crap out of his assist when it gets bumped out.
Yeah. No, for sure. Okay, that's gonna do it. Let's see. One thing Jake said: if KD gets ruled out, double on books under PRA if it bumps up. Oh yeah. If KD's doubtful, so I think he's pretty much doubtful. You rarely see doubtful get upgraded, right? Especially when you're on the trade block, like. Yeah, but if for whatever reason KD officially gets ruled out, I mean Booker, yeah, I mean double down shit. I probably will double down, to be honest. If that news that is already pretty much known bumps Booker's lineup, I probably will double down, to be honest with you. And then Eric said Jake Houston free throws made 4.5. So these are my 2 buddies, Eric and Jake. We played hoops together in high school, and this motherfucker Jake was like the worst free throw shooter. I can't really talk shit either because I was probably like a 50% free throw shooter, but I just thought that shit was funny. So we're going with the under on Jake's free throws made at 4.5. Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's gonna do it, guys. We apologize for not getting into everyone's comment, but we've been live for a fucking minute now. So, Eric, thank you for coming on. We greatly appreciate it. I think it's really cool, having like a super sharp guy on here and who has projections and stuff. I think it provides a lot of value and stuff. But Eric, is there anything you do want to shout out before we head out of here?
Yeah, first of all, I want to shout out both of you guys, JJ and Ty. You guys are awesome. Show's amazing, and I'm so happy to be on. If you guys enjoy the content, hit me up on X. I'm always down to talk. Or you can find me at Slime Action, and also all my picks and plays are posted in the Better Process Discord. It's been one of the biggest passion projects of mine, not just because I'm putting my content out there, all my picks, all my projections, etc., but I do it the right way. I try to do it the right way. We give people the tools to win on their own, and we also give out sharp, straight bets that are backed by projections, backed by DVIGs, that are actually positive expected value, unlike other Discords. Yes, we'll still post parlays and whatnot for you just because there are people who want to sweat that as well. We will give you the tools to actually get an edge while also having some fun and teaching throughout the entire way. So if you have any interest, check out the Twitter at Better Process, DM me at Slime Action or there, and I love talking ball, not just basketball, baseball, football, my 3 favorite sports. So I appreciate you guys and all listeners. Hope I can, see you guys again on the show, and I hope you guys learned a thing or two.
Yeah, and 100% recommend checking out Eric's Discord. Like I said, guys, I mean, there's so much like fluff and bullshit out there. Like it's hard to find stuff that's actually good. I can like 100%, recommend Eric's stuff. Just knowing who you are as a person, knowing your process, and like I know that your clients definitely make good side income doing that stuff. So I 100% recommend you guys to go check that out. CJ, do you got anything you want to say before you head out?
So I am locking in the Booker, tailing you on that one.
Okay, what's the price? Your best current?
Let me check real quick.
Because then you're doing the PRA under?
Yep.
Okay.
Booker, PRA. Bet 365 minus 115.
Okay. So we'll track that at minus 113 then. It's the same line. I told Liam before this, I'm like, yeah, JJ's definitely hopping on the Booker under 2 with us, and we're gonna
because when you guys were talking most of the time, I was watching the film. They're putting 2 on the ball so much, so it's like I gotta take that. And then Micic, I'm gonna take the 2+ threes. At looks like it's still at plus 100. I think that drop coverage is too hard to ignore.
Yeah, the 2 is FanDuel.
FanDuel, yeah, should be a 2+.
Okay, sweet. Hell yeah.
Yep.
So straight betting, big day relying on Micic and Booker. Or else, let's hope that we can win a bet today.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So is that all from you, JJ?
Yeah, at the moment.
Okay, sweet. And make sure to follow JJ on X as well at JSleeperStats. I'm sure he'll have a couple more props throughout the day. So yeah.
Nope.
All right. Well, appreciate you guys for I think this was a good stream today. I thought we put the people on. Like I said, one last reminder: if you guys are listening, like and subscribe. Like I said, it just that's how we grow. That's how you guys can directly support us if you do rock with the content we do, or if you just fuck with us as people. So. Yeah, that's how you guys can help us succeed, and we greatly appreciate it if you guys were to do that. So, all right, that's gonna do it. We will see you guys tomorrow. We got Thursday tomorrow? So yeah, we got 2 hours tomorrow, of course, at 7:30 a.m. and 9:45 a.m. So make sure you guys are back and checking that out and active and questioning stuff. So yeah, we'll see you then. Peace out.